There's an urgent message you need to hear today. Have you been feeling that something isn't quite right with the world lately? Those strange coincidences? The technology acting up for no reason? The feeling of being watched? Your intuition is correct. Powerful hidden forces are actively working behind the scenes right now, and their actions affect every aspect of your life. The white flashes you've glimpsed from the corner of your eye, the recurring numbers you keep seeing, the animals behaving strangely. These aren't random events. They're signs trying to break through to your awareness. Divine protection surrounds you as you receive this critical information. The timing of this message reaching you today is no accident. It was guided to you because you're ready to understand what's really happening. Your soul has been preparing for this revelation, even if your conscious mind wasn't aware. The uncomfortable feeling in your chest when watching the news, the strange dreams disrupting your sleep. Your higher self has been trying to alert you. The veil is lifting now, and you're about to discover why everything has felt so off balance. Lately, hidden organizations are actively trying to fix humanity's path without your knowledge or consent. These shadow groups present themselves as beneficial, working for the greater good, but their true agenda remains carefully concealed from public awareness. Their version of fixing involves controlling key aspects of human experience, from how you think and what you believe, to how you connect with others, and even how you perceive reality itself. Your natural intuition has been trying to warn you about this interference, creating that uneasy feeling when something doesn't add up despite official explanations. The timing of this message is critically important because these efforts to fix humanity have accelerated dramatically in recent months. What was once a gradual process has become increasingly bold and direct. Your family's well-being, your personal freedom, and your spiritual sovereignty are all at risk unless you understand what's happening. These forces are systematically attempting to disconnect you from your natural intuitive wisdom and replace it with carefully constructed artificial guidance systems. What makes this particularly concerning is how these fixes are presented as improvements, advancements, and solutions to problems. Yet behind the appealing promises lies a carefully orchestrated plan to limit human potential and natural spiritual evolution. Your life is being directly impacted in ways designed to be subtle enough that you might dismiss your concerns as paranoia, rather than recognizing the legitimate warnings from your higher awareness. The signs of this interference are becoming increasingly obvious if you know what to look for. Have you noticed more technological glitches recently? Devices activating without being touched, strange interruptions during important conversations, or searches that suddenly reroute to unexpected content. These aren't simply technical failures, but evidence of monitoring systems occasionally revealing themselves. Pay attention to the sudden policy changes in local and global institutions that subtly restrict freedoms that were once taken for granted. Each small change seems reasonable on its own, but together they form a pattern of increasing control over daily life choices. The explanations offered for these changes often don't fully address the nagging questions in your mind. Many report unexplained feelings of being watched or monitored, especially during private conversations about sensitive topics. Your pets may behave strangely, staring at empty corners or becoming agitated at specific times with no apparent cause. Animals sense energetic interference that human perception often misses. Similarly, children frequently comment on seeing things adults have been conditioned to overlook. Their natural perception hasn't yet been fully fixed by these systems. Look at the patterns in seemingly unconnected global events. Have you noticed how certain narratives suddenly appear everywhere, simultaneously? Or how questioning particular topics is swiftly discouraged across all platforms? This coordination reveals the hidden hand guiding public perception. The most telling evidence is the changing social dynamics in your community. People seem increasingly polarized, less able to connect meaningfully, more dependent on external validation. Conversations feel scripted, with genuine questions often deflected. These subtle but profound changes in human interaction reflect successful fixing of natural communication patterns. Your own unexplained health fluctuations, sudden emotional swings, or unusual mental fog might be reactions to these interference patterns. Your body's wisdom recognizes artificial energetic influences even when your conscious mind has been taught to ignore them. These hidden forces are systematically fixing aspects of humanity that enable freedom and spiritual sovereignty. First and foremost, they're correcting what they consider the problem of human intuition. Your natural ability to sense truth directly, without external authority, threatens control systems. By flooding your awareness with constant noise, contradictory information, and manufactured crises, they're fixing the flaw of your inner knowing. They're correcting the error of free thinking by establishing narrow boundaries of acceptable thought. Ideas outside these boundaries are swiftly labeled as misinformation, regardless of their merit. This fixing process trains you to self-censor and doubt your own reasoning abilities when they diverge from approved narratives. Traditional knowledge, passed through generations, is being systematically discredited and replaced with dependency on specialized experts and technological solutions. Ancient wisdom about natural health, spirituality, and sustainable living is portrayed as primitive or dangerous, fixing the problem of self-reliance. Natural approaches to health and well-being that honor the body's innate wisdom are being fixed through increasing restrictions and ridicule. Connections to natural cycles, intuitive eating, and plant medicines are portrayed as unscientific, steering humanity toward dependency on synthetic solutions. Perhaps most concerning is the fixing of community bonds and family structures. Natural human connection is being replaced with digital approximations, face-to-face interactions. Once the foundation of human society, are increasingly viewed as inefficient or even dangerous alternatives to mediated communication platforms that can be easily monitored and influenced. Information itself is being fixed through sophisticated filtering systems that determine what knowledge you can access. Search results, media coverage, and educational materials undergo invisible editing to shape a particular worldview, while maintaining the illusion of open information access. These fixes create dependency rather than empowerment, training humans to look outside themselves for answers rather than developing discernment and inner wisdom. The control systems benefit tremendously from a disconnected humanity. When people are separated from their intuition, natural wisdom, and each other, they become easier to predict and direct. Your genuine spiritual connection gives you access to guidance that can't be monitored or manipulated, which represents a significant threat to those who wish to determine your thoughts and behaviors. There's a profound fear among these controlling forces about humanity awakening to its true potential. Throughout history, whenever large numbers of humans began accessing their deeper wisdom and connecting with each other in authentic ways, significant social change followed. Power structures were questioned and often transformed. The current, fixing attempts follow historical patterns of suppressing consciousness evolution when it threatens existing control mechanisms. What many don't realize is that confusion, fear, and separation generate specific energetic frequencies that these forces harvest and utilize. Your emotional energy is an actual resource being collected through triggering content, divisive narratives, and manufactured crises that keep you in lower vibrational states. There's also evidence suggesting attempts to manipulate humanity's collective timeline, preventing a specific spiritual awakening that natural evolution would otherwise produce. Certain human gifts, like telepathy, clear seeing, energy healing, and manifestation abilities, are particularly threatening to those who rely on deception and hidden influence. The ultimate goal appears to be creating a version of humanity that believes it's making free choices while actually following predetermined paths, a fixing of the unpredictable nature of truly sovereign beings into a manageable, predictable resource. What these controlling forces didn't anticipate was the powerful divine intervention now actively countering their efforts. Higher spiritual guardians have noticed these attempts to derail humanity's evolution and have activated unprecedented protection of Earth's ascension timeline. This divine intervention isn't always obvious to casual observation, but becomes clear when you know what signs to watch for. Light forces are working diligently to counteract the control systems, sometimes using the very mechanisms created for control as tools for awakening. Notice the increasing synchronicities guiding you to important information, connections with like-minded individuals appearing just when needed, and moments of startling clarity that cut through confusion. Evidence of this divine intervention is appearing everywhere. Technologies meant to isolate people sometimes connect those who would never have found each other otherwise. Attempts to suppress information often bring greater attention to it. Institutional trust is faltering precisely when blind faith in authority would be most dangerous. Unexpected allies are emerging in influential positions, speaking truths that would have been suppressed just months ago. Information that was carefully hidden is being revealed at an accelerating pace, despite significant efforts to maintain secrecy. Most telling is that despite massive resources directed toward fixing human consciousness, spiritual awakening is accelerating rather than diminishing. More people report spontaneous spiritual experiences, increased psychic abilities, and a growing sense of connection to something beyond the material world than ever before. The fixing attempts appear to be triggering the very awakening they sought to prevent. Divine timing is revealing itself as perfect. The control mechanisms became visible precisely as humanity developed the awareness to recognize and transcend them. What looks like a battle between light and dark forces is actually a perfectly orchestrated awakening experience, providing exactly the pressure needed for consciousness evolution. You can strengthen your natural protection against these fixing attempts with specific daily practices. Begin each morning by visualizing a sphere of bright white light surrounding your entire body. See this light creating a boundary that allows only positive energies to enter, while reflecting away all manipulation attempts. This simple visualization creates genuine energetic protection that interference technologies cannot penetrate. Sound frequencies offer powerful protection against control technologies. The sound OM vibrates at a frequency that disrupts artificial energy patterns. Humming this sound for just 30 seconds creates a coherent field around you that technological interference cannot easily penetrate. Many find that singing or playing acoustic instruments create similar protective effects. Creating sacred space in your home is essential during these times. Designate an area, even just a corner, where no digital devices are allowed. Keep natural elements like plants, crystals, or running water in this space. Spend time there daily to reset your natural energetic field. This practice counters the constant EMF exposure that makes minds more susceptible to external influence. Digital detox periods break manipulation patterns that rely on constant connection. Even short breaks from all screens create windows where your natural intuition can resurface. Notice how your thoughts feel different during these periods. That clarity represents your authentic awareness without interference. Physical practices like barefoot contact with the earth, known as grounding, strengthen your electromagnetic field against external manipulation. Just 10 minutes of direct skin contact with natural ground resets your body's electrical system to the Earth's natural frequency, making artificial influence more difficult. You'll know these protection methods are working when you experience sudden clarity about confusing situations, when manipulation attempts become obvious rather than subtle, and when you feel a quiet inner strength regardless of external chaos. Many report finding white feathers in unexpected places as confirmation of divine protection activating around them. What the controlling forces never anticipated is how their very attempts to fix humanity are actually accelerating spiritual development. The pressure of these challenges activates dormant abilities within you, particularly the capacity to discern truth from manipulation. This skill alone transforms you from a potential victim to a conscious participant in planetary evolution. You're likely already connecting with like-minded individuals who share your sense that something isn't right with the official narratives. These connections aren't coincidental but divinely orchestrated gatherings of souls who agreed to work together during this pivotal time. Trust these relationships when they form easily and naturally. Your ability to recognize authentic truth despite sophisticated information manipulation is strengthening daily. Notice how you can increasingly feel the resonance of truth in your body regardless of how convincingly false information is presented. This physical discernment system bypasses mental manipulation tactics completely. Maintaining inner peace during external chaos becomes both your greatest protection and your most powerful contribution to collective evolution. When you refuse to be pulled into fear, anger, or despair, you create a reference point of stability that influences far beyond your visible reach. Your specific role in this pivotal time may still be revealing itself, but trust that you have unique gifts perfectly suited to the challenges humanity now faces. The very areas where you've faced your greatest difficulties often indicate where your most powerful contributions will emerge. Timeline jumping techniques allow you to consciously choose the most positive collective future. When facing concerning news or predictions, actively visualize the outcome you wish to experience instead. This practice isn't mere positive thinking, but actual participation in quantum timeline selection that influences probable futures. The divine guardians watching over humanity urge you to implement these protection practices immediately. A critical window of opportunity exists right now where individual actions have magnified effects on collective outcomes. The choices you make in the coming days will influence not just your personal experience, but contribute to which timeline humanity collectively experiences. By supporting this message with super thanks, you help ensure this information reaches others who need this awakening call. The algorithmic systems are designed to suppress content that reveals these truths, but your energy exchange creates pathways through these barriers. Know that continued guidance and protection surrounds you as you integrate this information. The divine realm understands the challenge of receiving such revelations, and provides exactly the support needed for each soul's journey. You were shown this message because you're ready to handle this truth and contribute to humanity's positive evolution. Trust your growing discernment above all external authorities. The very feeling that guided you to this message is your internal navigation system functioning perfectly. This inner compass will continue directing you toward experiences and information that support your highest path during this extraordinary time of transformation. Remember that despite appearances, light is prevailing. What looks like increasing darkness is actually the contrast needed to finally see what has long remained hidden. This revelation itself is evidence that the fixing attempts have already failed.